Hey everybody, Stu Smith here, going live. And no, I'm not dressed up for you. I'm actually dressed up. I don't really get dressed up very often unless it's a big occasion. And unfortunately, today is a funeral of a naval officer. I'm going to go honor and remember him with his friends and family at the Naval Academy right after this. So, one thing I think we need to do is when someone leaves us too soon, we should remember that person, never forget that person, do things regularly to honor that person, whether that is um, memorial type workouts or an event or visiting family, those type of things, just to laugh and, you know, hang out with your buddies that all knew each other. Unfortunately, as you age, you get to see this um, a little more frequently. I will say this though, in my first few years in the Navy, also went to a lot of funerals um, as well, and they were young, and it's not easy. Um, so, what are some ways that we can memorialize them? Yeah, I don't know if you saw my Instagram post the other day, but there's a grave site at the Naval Academy in the cemetery, and it's just so happens to be on the perimeter of a very common running area at the Naval Academy. And countless people go by there every single day. But one of the unique things about this, it's Lieutenant Commander Eric Christensen, who died in Operation Red Wings in the recovery helicopter that went to go save Murph and Latrell and anyway, um, yeah, that was a tough day. Uh, but he's buried there, and he went to the Naval Academy. His father went to the Naval Academy, served. I remember him as a young teenage kid who was living on the yard when his father was stationed there as a senior officer, and I knew he wanted to serve as well. And he would be working out with midshipmen all the time, getting ready for hopefully coming to the Naval Academy and then going on to Buds, and he did. And he's just a great guy. A lot of people loved him. But anyway, one of the unique things that happens here at the academy is when you're running this perimeter, and it's a real common run. It's probably about 4 miles of running. Everybody just runs the perimeter, and everybody stops by this Eric Christensen's uh, gravesite and does push-ups. You do 20 push-ups and you hoo-yah Commander Christensen, and it's done so often that the grass is worn in front of his gravesite, and it's just a neat way to honor that person. There's so many different ways you can go fishing with your buddies or do other things like that. But anyway, another thing too is you got to live your life well, and we owe it to them to do well and be good and live long and remember them. Never forget them. Um, so I know I'm going to be doing some Q&A as well as some CSS critiques. One thing about all of this is, life goes on too. And I just wanted to kind of do both today. I wanted to be part of my normal schedule, have a moment to where we honor Captain Michael Wallace, who is a professor here at the Naval Academy, um, and carry on. So I know I may look weird. Not many of you have seen me in a suit. It feels kind of weird to do this, but you know what? Let's do it. Let's take some questions, and or if I don't see any questions, we can go right into um, videos, which I do need to download a few, it looks like. Uh, so hopefully I can download and not screw up my upload. So Mikhail said, lucky I've never seen death other than someone who didn't survive. And I did give CPR though. Nice. Good try, man. Knowing CPR makes you an asset for sure. I would highly recommend it. Definitely a skill to understand. And, you never know. Crushed me today on the bike pyramid. You were right. That is no joke. Yeah, those bike pyramids are the one of my favorites. They are very tough. I usually have a puddle of sweat under me when I do those bike pyramids for sure. I'm just downloading some videos. I actually have a lot of videos today. Probably have at least 6, maybe more. Um, so, well, why don't we get right to that, and we'll just open up some videos here and go to town on critiquing some CSS videos. What do you say? Not sure which one's my latest one. I'm just going to grab one and we'll go. So some of these may not be the best video footage. Oh, okay, I remember this one. Huh. Sorry, I can't turn down my volume here. Hang on. It's interrupting me. Uh Crap. Why is this so blurry? Anyway, so here's the problem. Sometimes people send me videos, and let me give you this as an example. Um, Sometimes people send me videos, and if you can't see yourself swimming very clearly on your video, I probably can't either, right? So I will tell you this though, something I can tell that's going on here is that your kick is doing nothing. Like your scissor kick looks like a broken pair of scissors. And what's happening is because you're getting no propulsion from that main unit of propulsion, it's dropping your hips down, and now you're kind of swimming diagonally like this, I guess, or like this, right? And if you can, try to get in the lane closest to the wall and film it a little better. This is yeah, this is just not a really good video to critique. If you were in this lane here, I might be able to see it, but I'm not sure what happened with the download, but it is grainy as hell. But watch after you kick. I mean, you don't go anywhere. So you're not creating a glide, you're not creating any ability to streamline because you just have no momentum going into it. So um, my suggestion would be, if you're watching, or I sent this to him by email, but there's an article called Fix Your Kick I wrote, and it's got some kick drills in here and explains the kick a little bit. Check this out. Fix your kick. Otherwise, nothing else is going to really work. If you're not able to kick and hold a glide for 3 seconds, your kick is weak. And when I say 3 seconds, I mean 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Maybe that's 2 seconds. But that's how much power your legs need to be creating in order to produce some useful speed in the CSS. Air bike, assault bike, do you incorporate in your workouts? Sometimes. I prefer like the life cycle though, something that I can really crank up the resistance to. Though those assault bikes have really hurt me too. So, you try to challenge yourself by making a lot of wattage, and whoo, that's hot. That's hard to do. Mikhail says in Denmark, there's a term called heart runners. Everyone CPR, everyone who knows CPR can sign up, and wherever these heart attacks in a radius of 5K, you'll get an alarm. Oh, wow, on your phone and route to the spot. Damn, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. Wow. Bike pyramid was increase, decrease 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 1 to 20 to 1, increase in each level every minute on the minute. Nope, you did it right. I was definitely standing up and dying there after level 16. Yeah, it sucks, man. And, trying to keep it between 70 and 80 RPMs gets really hard. I mean, to a point where, you're now flirting with 60 on some of those higher levels. But no, that's a great one. I tell you what, I did that one and I came out than I faster running than I was before I got injured. And haven't I was unable to run for a month just doing those bike workouts. So Flavia says, following you from Italy, have you been there? Yes, at least 3 times. Love it. I would say it is one of my favorite countries to go visit. Um, I've never had a bad meal in Italy. I love walking around, checking out the history. Love anything, ancient Roman stuff. It's just beautiful. People were very nice too. So love your country. All right, let's do another CSS and see what this one looks like. I think this one's going to be a little clearer. In fact, I think I took this one myself. And where are you? Hmm. Where are you, dude? Come on, pop up. Why is it not sharing? Hmm. Okay. Something is weird with my share screen. Okay, here we go. Man, that was odd. Okay. All right, so good kick off the wall. Here's something I always like to look at when you kick off the wall and he's really streamlined, one hand on top of the other, biceps on the ears. Look at that. He's coming up almost halfway across the pool just off the kickoff. So what am I looking at here? Top arm, bottom arm, kick, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Yeah, he's right on. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. He probably could pull a little earlier, but it doesn't look like he's losing a lot of momentum when he does. And as I recall, this video is a 47-second 50, which, if you do the math on that, that's sub 8. If you can maintain it for 9 more laps, which, it's not a lot of effort. And that's the key to this stroke is you don't want to be like muscling through the water to get from one end of the pool to the other. Otherwise you're just wasting yourself for the rest of the fitness test. But if you can do it efficiently like this, 5 strokes, you got yourself um, a really good efficient stroke that should really be a warm up for you for the rest of the PST. And when I say that, it's like swim first, push ups, sit ups, pull ups, mile and a half. Now, there are other fitness tests out there that have swimming last, like the Air Force IFT, formerly known as the PASS test. I think they have pull ups, sit ups, push ups, mile and a half, and then a swim. They also have some underwater swims in there too. So, yeah, that one is my suggestion on that, depending on the way your fitness test is structured, is arrange the workouts in such a way where you swim first, if your swimming is first in the test, and then you do your calisthenics and then do your run. That's the way to do it. Now, sometimes you just can't do that. Like we can't do that right now due to the pool availability. So we get all of our calisthenics and running done first, and then we swim last. So it's ideal for anybody wanting to go Air Force and go PJ because that's the way they do their, IFT in that order. So Flavio's saying, thinking about buying your tactical fitness program since I'm first year of college and will join SF after graduating. What level is the program? Yeah. Um, well, I got several. So my suggestion, if you have 4 years and you're kind of an intermediate level right now, go with the calisthenics and cardio program before you go into like any of the tactical fitness periodization, like the winter lift cycle here. This one's pretty advanced. This Cals and Cardio is a really good one. Um, there's another one here with, this is a really hard one. It's a Navy SEAL level. So it really depends on what type of, SF program you're going into. If it's Navy related, we used to work. In fact, the reason why I was in Italy once was we worked with the Incassori, which are we just had blast with those guys. So fun, great divers, great operators. We had them on our sub with us, and we locked them out. Did some really good joint ops, combined ops. It was a lot of fun working with those guys. Beautiful, beautiful water off the coast of Italy too. Um, so yeah, is yours more Navy oriented or Army oriented? Because that also matters. Depending on how much swimming you're going to need to be able to improve upon in the next 4 years. Plenty of time, but depending if you're going to be more land based or going to be in the water. Army SF, gotcha. Now, Army SF America or Army SF Italy, because they're similar. Going to basic training 1 February. Looking forward to taking the souls of the instructors because of your programs. All right. That's funny. Um, I think that's a David Goggins quote. Do you have any leadership advice motivating guys when you're tired and inefficient, wanting them to follow you? Yeah, you know what? You just have to be helpful. Um, just be helpful when you're going through that kind of training because they're really looking for the guys that are going to build a better team. Like none of this stuff, you're going to do it on your own. You're not going to be Rambo when you are, going through any basic training or advanced training, special ops training. It's really how well you work with others, because if you can work well with others, you make everything easier. That means load bearing boats and logs and whatever other equipment that everybody has to carry. But yeah, people are going to be slow. People are going to be hurting. And, for lack of a better term, yeah, you need to be the cheerleader and, push them, help them out, give them tips like for, you know, foam rolling and stretching at the end of the day, or, nutrition tips, whenever they're about to go drink a soda or start smoking or drinking wine, stop. That was one of the weird things I had whenever we were doing some, um, joint training, combined training with the European Special Forces guys, is that Italians were great. We'd eat carbs and, go crush long dives and, work out well. And then, we went over to other countries and, they're smoking and, drinking wine before dives. And, they lasted like half the time everybody else did. And we're just, they were they just didn't understand. Like we were drinking gallons of water before the dive, and they were drinking pints of alcohol. So there was a nutrition gap, and this was back in the '90s. So hopefully it's a lot better now. But um, yeah, be that guy that's just helpful with advice that you have learned through the years, whether it's recovery, which is very important, or it's actually in the moment, tired, beat up, and you just be that voice that makes someone laugh and they just get through that event, or just be the guy that picks someone up and says, "Let's go." I found that to be a lot better way to serve than being the dick and not being a good team player. And if somebody was slower than you, you didn't even talk to them because they were weaker. There are some guys like that, and I tell you, your reputation is starting as soon as you're going through that training for the rest of your career. So be the good guy, help people out. People will remember it and appreciate it. All right, let's do another swim. I think I might have shown this one, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Um, Come on now. Something is really weird with my videos. Like, I am sharing my screen right now, but you guys aren't seeing it. Let's see if this works. No. Okay, here we go. Man, it is a pain in the ass today. All right, so here's a swim with Finn video, and I like this one. I may have shown this one last week. I don't remember. Maybe not. But anyway, what we're doing here right now is just what you want to do is when you kick off the wall and you're swimming in a pool, get some dolphin kicks in there. You don't necessarily want to get your fins out of the water. That really kind of torques your hamstrings a little bit. But you can see what he's doing here. He's got um, big kick, little flutter kicks. I like this method personally. I have found this to be a really good method, especially when going with the current. That big kick right there. You can actually hold the glide and not do any flutter kicks after, if the current is pushing you pretty well. But if it's not, you're not going to be able to do even the big scissor kick and little flutter kicks in between. It's hard to push through the water with that little pause there, right there, because you'll go backwards depending on the current, or not go anywhere. You'll have no glide at all. So a constant flutter kick may be the better option. And I think I downloaded one that showed a constant flutter kick. I'll show that a little bit. But yeah, I like this. Not too much knee bending, except for that big scissor kick there, and then little flutter kicks from the hips. That's the way to do it. Let's see. See, I just got a permit started for a 21-inch or 21-foot round pool. Oh, 21-foot round pool in my yard. Oh, I see what okay. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Just got a permit started for a 21-foot round pool in my yard. What are your thoughts on tethered swimming? You know what? During COVID, that's all I could do. So I had a very small pool and tied myself to the uh, little bungee thing that was off the side of the pool, and just stayed in one spot and swam freestyle, swam side stroke. Was awesome. A lot of fun. A little boring, but it was nice because all the indoor pools were closed around here, and the outdoor pools hadn't opened yet. So that's what I did. I think it's a great idea. You can definitely practice swimming that way for sure. It's basic, like I call it the poor man's endless pool. You ever see those wave pools that just push water on you and you're just constantly swimming? This is just another version of that. I'll be waking up earlier than others, working out in the evening too, which means missing out a lot of free time with the guys. Do you think it gives me a bad rep, stand out from the group? No, never know. You might be able to find somebody that wants to work out with you. You know, not everybody's going to share your passion for training. and you just, got to respect that as well. But, if you're offered an opportunity to go somewhere, might not be a bad bonding experience to do that versus that second or third workout that you're doing for the day. Sometimes give yourself a break and, relax. Um, oh, it's not a big deal. Meant doing your programs in the morning, evening when guys go out to drink, etc. Yeah, you can also offer to be the designated driver too. A lot of people do that. I've done that many times. Do they do any type of stair running at Buds or Recon? I can't vouch for Recon. I know there's some big hills and rucking that they will do. Um, and we had big hills at the island to run, but we didn't do any stairs of running. Let me move on with another um, swim video. This might be today's. Can't remember when this was. All right, let's see. All right, so what do we got here? Got constant flutter kicks. And if you notice this gentleman's kick compared to the other gentleman's kick, his RPMs are, or KPMs, I guess, are a lot fewer. He's just kicking a lot slower. And he is going a little slower, right? This probably will be about a 55-second 50, where most people are doing about 45 to 50-second 50s with a pair of fins on. Not that this is bad. He's got good form. I just think the effort of leg power could be a little faster. That's all. But it looks good. It's got good form, kick, 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 top, use his arms to breathe. And if you compare it to the previous guy, you'll see just a different effort level. That's all there is. So a lot of times your ability to swim faster just means you kick a little harder, to be honest. Let's see. Not sure if you answered. Do your Army guys decrease running mileage to keep rucking distance high as well? Um, yeah, I mean, think of it this way. If you're trying to get better at rucking, what I would do is run like you are doing like a marathon training program, for instance, but you mix it up a little bit with some interval stuff for timed runs. So you shoot for like a 6-minute mile. Not sure what that is in kilometers. 6 minute, 1,600 meters, 1,500 meters, somewhere around there. And then you do a 7-minute, 1,600-meter run, pace. So you play around with those paces, and that is a really good testing pace, especially if you're going into like 10K, 10,000-meter runs, which is 6 miles here, which is very common in a lot of the running schools or spec op schools for running. But usually on a marathon running program, that weekend is scheduled a longer run, and that's when you can play around with a longer ruck if you have the time and ability to build up to that. You can build up to 10, 12-mile rucks, um, and do it that way. But I often count rucking mileage as part of my running mileage, just because the impact forces of running and the impact forces of rucking are in the same category. They're not the same, but they're definitely forces that you want to know, how much you're doing each week Otherwise, you could get out of a progression. Next thing you know, you're overdoing it and you've injured yourself just doing too much too soon, too fast, too long, things like that. So, do you think it's a good idea to buy your cows and cardio for this summer before starting and then go into fall transition? Yeah, I think that's a really good way to go. The cows and cardio program has a beginner. Don't think you will probably be in that beginner zone. That is really for true beginners. But there's an intermediate and advanced section that is really hard. Lots of calisthenics, lots of running, lots of swimming options. If you don't want to swim, you could do something else. You could ruck, you could bike, you could, do other activities. But there's significant amount of cardio in there and a lot of reps of calisthenics. And then in the fall, yeah, you could start mixing in some weights, building some durability, because that's one thing that you're going to want to do, especially if your future involves load bearing of equipment, load bearing of backpacks, rucking, those type of um, events that you just need to be a little bit more durable. And if you haven't lifted any weights before, sometimes that is a great time. In fact, that is a great time to start adding it in that fall transition because it's not all weights. It's a mix of calisthenics, cardio, and weights are slowly introduced into that fall transition. And then you have the winter lift cycle, which is more lifting, but you also maintain some of your cardio. You still do calisthenics, but it's mostly a warm up for the lifting. So it's a way of maintaining your calisthenics numbers as well. Right now, I'm lifting cycle to put on some mass 510, 155. Yeah. Yeah. I would probably continue on with that lifting cycle throughout the winter and then maybe jump into the spring or summer training programs, depending on your abilities. My suggestion is when you're done with your lift cycle, just email me or close to done. Let me know your numbers, calisthenics numbers, cardio numbers, runs, rucks, lift numbers, and then I'll be able to have a better suggestion for you than just to say blindly, go do this because you need to do this. You know, Otherwise, I'm just guessing if I don't know what your height and weight is, what your athletic ability is, and your scores. Um, can't really properly give you good advice. All right, let's see what we got here. I was in the Army, got out for the former infantry guy who still likes to ruck for cardio. How much do you recommend scaling down the load bearing? Um, there's nothing wrong with still liking to ruck. I think rucking is a great way. I mean, I still put on a weight vest or a backpack and walk my dog, or I will um, even mow my grass with a weight vest on just to make walking harder. Um, so it's a good way to do that. I typically limit my rucking, however, for leg days. So days I'm doing squats and lunges and any weights with legs. Um, I'll add in a ruck on the back end. Or since I'm in the Navy, swimming with fins is a really good leg day topper, in my opinion, as well. So yeah, nothing wrong with rucking. I would limit it to 2 to 3 times a week max, personally. Unless you're going kind of light and you put like a 20-pound ruck on, and you're just walking the dog or something. That's a different level of rucking. That's kind of like doing 20 push-ups a day versus 200 push-ups a day. If that makes sense. I don't recommend doing 200 push-ups a day for a very long time anyway. How many guys do you have on a customized plan? Good question. It's probably over 100. It's up there because I spend a significant amount of time making workouts during the week, personalized workouts during the week. I would say it's probably one of the things besides writing articles. It's probably the main thing that I do. I mean, it's not 24/7 I'm making workouts. I do it a couple hours here, a couple hours there. But yeah, there's a lot of them for sure. It hasn't gotten to a point where I need to shut it down, put it that way, because like most people, unfortunately, what will happen is some people will sign up for that program and then I email them for feedback and I hear nothing back from them. So I email them again, I text them and try to say, "Hey, send me some feedback. I'll send you workouts." And they say, "Well, I didn't do anything this week and I need to repeat." And then next thing you know, they just slide away and quit answering my emails. So sending me money and not taking full advantage of it. So kind of sucks. But that's typical. People are like that. People join gyms and then pay for a year and quit showing up after January 15th. It's a shame. So I tell you what, I do need to head out of here. I got to head out. It's 9:35 now. Um, I told my wife I'd be done before 10, and then we head over to this funeral service. So I'm gonna cut it short a little bit today. I appreciate you guys coming in, asking questions, checking out the live Q&A as well as the CSS critiques. Hope you learned something. If you want to pick up some more critiques, just go here, tiktok.com at StuSmith50, or you can go to my Instagram, which is still StuSmith50. And I have a lot of reels there of me critiquing, and it's just voiceover critiques of somebody swimming, very similar to what we're doing here. But yeah, check out the TikTok page. If you don't like TikTok, then don't sweat it. Just go to the website. You don't have to download the app and worry about Chinese hacking your stuff. Um, all right, let's see. Looks like how does one get you to critique? Send me an email, stu@stusmith.com. But make sure in that video that you send me, you can actually see yourself swimming. Because if you can't see yourself swimming, I can't either. So what most people do is they just turn their phone sideways and then have somebody walk along the pool deck right on top of them as they go back and forth once. And all I need is 50 meters. Then you can email it to me, stu@stusmith.com. It's right here, STEW@stusmith.com. But also check out StuSmithFitness.com. That's where I got a ton of blog articles, videos, my podcast, all 235 podcasts are on there. Um, books, ebooks, programming, things like that. If you're looking for anything like that, come on, always here. Um, thank you, Tom. Yep, my birthday is this weekend, so I appreciate it. Looks like I missed BZ Tommy up here. HM1 here. Been following you for years. Love to have you on my podcast. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do it. I do podcasts all the time. So or email me, stu@stusmith.com. And you can we'll figure out a time to do it. Happy to. All right, guys. 39 minutes into this, I need to bail and get out of here. I will check you guys next week. You guys have a good one and get out there and go crush it.